trust me, I'm not a Strat guy, but hi there folks, welcome back to Dunzy's Guitar World. Yes indeed, I am not a Strat guy. However, a recent arrival may have changed my mind on that. So this video is all about that guitar, and I am looking for a little bit of help on this one to try and identify the year and the model of this guitar. So let's have a brief look at it. Here it is. Very white, with a big headstock that says Squier on it, a rosewood neck, black plastics, and a very nice playing guitar. Well, it plays very nice now and it sounds very nice, but I had to do a fair bit of work to get this up and running from when I arrived. So let's have a little look at what I did, but first of all, let's get the strings off. So let's look under the hood, see what's under there. So of course it has been routed out for a humbucker in the bridge position. Not the most professional job, but it's okay. It looks like it's been done with a chisel. The middle and neck positions are just as they left the factory. But look at all that wiring. So the top two pots do not turn at all. I have no idea what that bit of plastic with all the leads inside is. It attaches to the bottom pot, which is a push-pull pot. I think what that's doing, it's either a boost or something like that, but there's loose wires. I really don't know what to do with this at all. Now, checking the pickups, the bridge one, which has obviously been replaced, is a Goto humbucker. All the pots, I think all the pots are knackered, it would be fair to say. The bottom one does turn, but it doesn't seem to do anything. So here's what I ended up doing. I ended up doing away with all that extra wire, went back to 3 single coils. Now it turned out that the neck pickup worked, the middle pickup did not work. Yes indeed, I had to do a bit of pickup swappery. So the bridge pickup is now an XL, Maxon XL, which I took from a 1979 Greco SE 800J, so you know, a very nice pickup, and I think it does sound nice. The middle pickup is an old pickup I had lying around, which came from an E-series Fender Japan Strat, I think, and the front pickup is the pickup which would have come with this guitar. So how do they sound? Let's listen to some clean sounds, see what we think. So nice clean sounds. Like I said, this Maxon pickup to me sounds fantastic, and the other two sound great as well, I have to say. There's that very much quacky, out of phase sound, I think, in some of these positions, but really, really good. So what model is this fine guitar? So the first Japanese made Fender Stratocasters were introduced in April 1982. These were modelled after the 1957 and 1962 Stratocasters. Serial numbers all had JV, short for Japanese vintage. The earliest JVs were built exclusively for the Japanese market, so these are referred to as domestic. They had unique model codes. The 57 Strats were an ST5765, an ST5785 and ST57115, and the 62 Strats labelled ST6265, ST6285 and the ST2115. Now, because of the high demand for these, because of the quality, Fenders chose to export these models to Europe under the Squier label. Starting in late 1982, Fender Japan's vintage lineup was expanded to include more affordable Squier models alongside the existing Fenders. So the domestic Fenders had the ST code. The domestic Squier Strats were marketed under the SST, stands for Squier Stratocaster. So these were the SST45, the SST50 and the SST55. They closely resembled the export models, but they came with Japanese designed and made SQ5 and SQ4 hot rod pickups. These used Alnico magnets and springs instead of rubber for the pickup height adjustment. So the Squier SST30, introduced in 1983, expanded the range of instruments available to Japanese players. It was equipped with SQ3 hot rod ceramic pickups and hexagonal low budget non-slotted tuning heads. All of these domestic Squier Strats initially carried the JV serial number. Also in 1983, Fender Japan launched the domestic current Stratocaster. Model numbers are CST30, CST45, CST50 and CST55. These guitars initially carried the JV serial number, but they resembled the export SQ models. Featured a large headstock, bullet truss rod and 3-bolt neck plate, which I guess is like a 72 Strat. So another way to identify the model is to look in the neck pocket, see if there's anything written in there, and look at the date on the end of the neck. So there's nothing written in the neck pocket, so that's not that helpful. And it has 7CT on the neck. Now the neck date 6/24/58. 58 is for the Japanese year 1983. So we discussed earlier a brief history of the JV series and when they started making Japanese domestic versions. So let's have a quick look at the catalogue from 1983. The CST, the current Stratocaster. See if we can find one that has the same attributes as this: black plastics, big headstock and a 3-bolt neck with JV. So my guess, and please do help me here, please let me know in the comments if you agree with this, this is either a CST45 or a CST50 from June 1983. I have seen pickups from other similar guitars and I'm not sure these are the same pickups, but they definitely don't appear to be the American pickups. The American pickups that went in the earlier export series had cloth wires on them, so I don't think this is American. So my guess is this is a Japanese domestic CST45 or a CST50, but it plays and sounds really good. Let's hear some more overdriven sounds through Fender amps. Again, these pickups work really well together, especially the bridge pickup. I'm really liking this one. I can't remember why it's not in my Japanese SE800J, or I've put Fender custom pickups in that, so that's why it's not in there. I don't think it was working actually. I had to resolder a couple of wires to get it working. So yes, these are sounding really good. In fact, let's hear some slightly more overdriven sounds with some palm muting as well, see if you can handle that. Again, does a sterling job. So has this changed my mind on Strats? Well, I'm not a huge fan of thin necks, so let's look at the profile of this neck, the nut width profile at the nut, profile at the 12th fret. So probably slimmer than I would normally play, but I found it quite comfy. The only thing that I'm finding is it's kind of wider than other Strats, than my 79 Greco, and when I'm trying to specifically bend notes round about the 4th fret, you know, like I'm doing wailing out a tune on an F sharp, I'm kind of finding it hard to get a good purchase on that, but that's just my playing style. I prefer fatter necks, and my playing style is very much suited to a fat neck. The frets are sort of small, skinny frets. Again, I'm more into bigger frets, but I'm 50-50 on this one. I've got to say, you know, trust me, I'm not a Strat guy, but I'm enjoying this, and I think it sounds absolutely fantastic. So from that point of view, I'm really pleased, and it's not taken that much work to get it up to working condition. It was just very strange when I saw all that wiring. It must have been some sort of, I don't know, boost or something like that. I just could not work out. I couldn't find any diagram online that would give me any hint as to what I needed to do. So that is why I put it back to stock 3 single coil pickups. So there you go, folks. That is what I believe to be a June 1983 Squier Japan CST, current Strat 45, so it would have been 45,000 yen, or a CST 50,000 yen. That is my best guess. But please do comment below if I'm talking out of my arse and I'm completely wrong, and if you could put me right, that'd be great, because I'd like to know the exact model of this. So you've already seen a little bit of it, but the video does finish with a jam. I know, I think this was in B major? I can't remember. I just played over a track that I heard on the internet. I think this was the second take, and I just went for 3.5 minutes. Out of tune, a couple of jazz notes here and there, but I don't think they detract from the rock and roll feeling that I was attempting to put into the jam. So as ever folks, it's an absolute privilege and an absolute pleasure to bring you content on Dunsea's Guitar World. Cheers for now.